them saying, "Fuck you, Vince. We have our own business."
And that's where we're going to start the topic today on the third episode of the JDL and Bunnyman Show. What happens if
I can't see that was bull.
That was funny. If Hulk Hogan never leaves the WWF,
Ultimate Warrior
Ultimate Warrior never leaves the WWF. What Kyle just got done saying, if Ultimate Warrior doesn't leave, Hogan doesn't leave,
Macho Man
Savage doesn't leave, you don't see the big stars from the 80s leave the company. Now, the question is this: if those stars don't leave and go to WCW, do you see the push of the younger generation of Hart, Michaels, Nash, Hall?
Well, see,
or did the old dogs
the way
stay on
he
top?
started that, Michaels and Hart were getting a push from the beginning.
Oh, definitely.
You can't include those two.
Because the old guys stayed,
and Nash, that's different.
Yes, but do you think that if Hogan, Warrior, Savage, if all the main guys would have stayed in WWF and didn't jump any time, do they jump? Do Shawn Michaels in the bottom, who was supposed to come up and who did come up? Do you see Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart moving over instead?
I don't see those two. Hall and Nash.
Well, here's the thing.
Sorry, guys.
Here's the thing.
It was in the cards from the beginning.
Well, in that case, NWO would still exist.
Going to be doing drugs your whole life, so there you go.
But here's the thing. Michaels, and if you ever watched the DVD, Michaels almost jumped in his second stint in the WWE with the Rockers when Marty got gypped on that contract.
Yeah.
They were going to jump to WCW, and Michaels decided not to.
Yeah, because he knew that Marty Jannetty was horrible.
Oh, come on.
He was
wait a minute. How are you going to say that he wasn't horrible?
He's a Marty Jannetty guy.
He was a really good Intercontinental champion, and that was awesome.
That makes up for what you did to me. If you guys can't tell what just happened here, he just broke a chair. It wasn't over his back or nothing or anybody else. He's just a skinny fat guy that sat down. It happens to all of us.
But anyway, Marty Jannetty was a better wrestler than a lot of people give him credit for. And honestly, I would love to see him in the Hall of Fame. But in order for him to go in the Hall of Fame, we all know it has to be under the Rockers, and that is well deserved.
He wouldn't get the drug. But here's the thing. Say they all stay, right? Does WCW stay in business for as long as they do?
No.
Do ECW actually end up staying longer?
ECW?
ECW could. I
think ECW could have actually lasted a little longer than it did because WCW wasn't even on the damn thing. And they probably would have been the big thing that Vince tried to fight, but not as hardcore. So he probably didn't. He probably wouldn't even have to go after it.
Come on now, would you want to fight somebody like Taz coming at you?
No. Don't really ruin Taz. When he came in, it should have been a lot better.
But here's the thing. We all agree.
This is why they have one night only.
If it wasn't for Hogan jumping and Savage jumping and having Flair there and having Sting there, they had the ability and the star power to have Nitro.
Yes.
Without that, say they all stay,
it wouldn't have been as good as it was.
No.
And do you think they only stick to that? Remember the WCW Power Hour on Saturday nights?
Okay.
Where they had the rotating ring?
Yes.
Does it stay as that regional, like TNA is now, that regional, not too big but not too small kind of company that putters along and gets by? Or does after a couple of years and Time Warner sits there and goes, look, it's not bringing us a profit, we're spending too much money, and they cut it? Because let's face it, me and Kyle are big TNA fans. We know that really is the only reason they stay in business because Dixie Carter's dad runs Panda Energy.
I was a TNA fan for a long time until they started going
old guys
and Dixie and all that.
But here's the thing: I think WCW lasts, but I don't think they last at a way that
I don't think they would have had a bigger impact on.
They wouldn't yet.
I don't think the Monday Night Wars would have probably never actually happened.
No.
I think the Attitude Era was eventually going to happen, but it probably would have happened a lot later.
It'd probably be happening now.
No, we'd probably still be in at the beginning of the Ruthless Aggression. the Attitude Era probably would have just ended.
And that's fine. You know, and if everything got bumped up, you'd have. You know what? I disagree. I disagree because I think now in today's age, the Attitude Era wouldn't go over as well as it did. Because if you
No,
think
we're not saying that. We're saying that
no,
if
no,
they
time
never
span of
jumped,
what
Yeah.
it
happened.
would have pushed back.
push back. But I don't think even the Attitude Era would have made an impact as it did. Because I think the Attitude Era
That's
needed
possible.
to be in the 90s. It needed
Yes.
to be from 95 to like 99, 2000. Because everybody.
That was the time span of what was actually there.
But I'm still not
The attitude
disagreeing.
was there
Yeah, I'm
in
not
life.
disagreeing. I'm still thinking it would have happened, but I don't think we would have looked on it as with rose-colored glasses as we do when we think of the Attitude Era as it is now.
Okay. Now, my question to this is going back to the Monday Night Wars. And we all saw how it went down. We all saw that it was the dismantling of WCW. My question is that, do you think that the dismantling was because WWE, WWF, it is WWF, I don't care what World Wildlife Federation says.
Goddamn madness.
Is it because they were better, or is it because Ted Turner was just looking for, I can't find the mic, for money instead of what you, and you wanted, like what WWE did?
I think
I think that's why they won out, and
But
20 years later,
I
we're
just-
finally doing what's best for business.
I could see if the rest, honestly, if they all stayed, if they would have never jumped. I don't even know if the Monday Night Wars would have happened because they wouldn't have been good enough.
But-
It wouldn't have caught Vince's eye as hardcore as it did after they all jumped.
But
No, because all those guys left.
But
He had to do something.
But to answer the question, I think here's the thing with Ted Turner. Ted Turner was a really big wrestling fan. He had the NWA, Georgia Championship Wrestling, on TBS for years and years and years and years and years, and fought Georgia Championship Wrestling and renamed it WCW after his TV show of World Championship Wrestling, which not a lot of people realize. However, when the merger happened and he sold the AOL merged with Time Warner, I think it got to the point because as you as a Braves fan know, that's when he sold the stake in the Braves. It became more of not so much being a wrestling fan and wanting to keep wrestling on his TV, but being able to live the lifestyle that he wanted to live. And I think
I think that's when TBS was awesome. Brave games and WCW.
Saturday nights. On Saturday night, you had the Brave game in the afternoon and you had WCW at night. And now you can't catch a Brave game anywhere.
No.
And WCW's out of business. So I really think if it wasn't for
If it wasn't for the jump.
it's the camera. If I honestly think if the jump saved not only WCW still being alive till 2001, but I think in a weird way it did help the Atlanta Braves and the TBS station because it kept Turner relevant.
Yeah.
That's why I was asking.
Yeah.
In this Monday Night War, was he looking for what was best for business, or what was making his pocket bigger?
Pocket bigger. At the end
And
of
when
the
it
night. Yeah.
came to the point where he realized that he was in a losing battle, he cut ties.
Yeah. And you know what?
Regardless of who was there, who wasn't there, or whatever,
But the point still remains that without the jump,
this would have never happened.
this
And
would have never
WCW
happened.
would have been
Yeah.
dismantled.
Yeah.
the
years
whole
before
series
that.
of events
Yeah,
would have probably never actually
would've
really
cut,
happened.
I think he would have cut ties a lot sooner.
Yeah.
You know, because as much as he was a fan, at the end of the day, when you're a businessman like Ted Turner, hey, your bottom dollar is what you're looking at. And I think he would have tried to sell it to a different person and have them run it. And I guarantee you would have cut the time slot. But I think WCW would have been a regional Southern promotion.
It probably
And
would
then
have been like an indie.
A little bit bigger than it. It would have been TNA.
It would have been, yes.
It would have.
It would have been what TNA would have been.
What
Would have been.
Yeah, and you know.
I think
At the
TNA is
beginning,
better
yeah.
than what they are.
Yeah, here's the thing at TNA. I think what makes TNA better than what WCW was, not what it became, but what it was before the Monday Night Wars, is the fact that they're not looked at as a Southern regional brand. they're looked at as a power promotion. It's still TNA. You still have international flavor in TNA. You still have the Great Muta coming over. You still have Bobby Lashley there. You have big names in TNA, whether homegrown or brought in, like Hogan, like Angle, like Team 3D, Christian. You have an ability to bring in people. So I think it's better that way. Oh, it's
See, I'm not honestly a big fan of what TNA is anymore. They were a lot better.
Okay, let me get this straight. What TNA is now, in your eyes, is what WCW was at the end of the Monday Night Wars.
Yes.
Really? At the end? Seriously?
Oh.
Because honestly, I think
TNA had the potential, and at the beginning they were a lot more intrigued. Everything about them was better. They have the talent. That's something they have over WCW when they went out. They have better talent, but the company is getting destroyed from within, and it's not going to last that long.
And that's why Hogan's not there no more.
Hogan helped put it under. Let's face it,
because
he helped put it under.
He's too old to figure out what a six-sided ring is, and he's like, no. This isn't going to work. We're going back to the old school.
Like,
and sometimes
making it
change is good. But
yes, I love and miss the six-sided ring, and yes, it's back, but I honestly don't care. I'm out to care for the company to begin with. But what made the biggest problem of TNA's failure has been the destruction of the Jarretts not being in control. When they were in control of it, it was a hell of a lot better.
Yeah.
Love him or hate him, Jarrett knew the business. He helped. That was his company.
He's been around the business for, like 25 years now, at least.
We were talking about what they are now and how they are pretty much at the end of WCW, just with better talent.
I think TNA will last a couple more years. However, I don't think they'll be long lasting enough if Spike ever loses
champion.
If Spike ever loses their interest. And I think what TNA's the fine line TNA is on is what Spike TV wants to do. If Spike TV wants to keep them on TV, TNA will last. If Spike TV sits there and goes, look, we're done, TNA will go out of business.
Well, let's face it, they're not going to last that much longer, though.
Well, we'll see. But
it's just that the difference between what WCW was and what TNA is now is that WCW got repetitive. TNA now, yes, like all wrestling brands, they're repetitive.
It would be better if it was more live. They filmed too many episodes.
WWE stealing.
Yeah. And
from them.
Both.
How are you going to steal something from your redheaded stepchild?
Yeah, it's not like, it's different.
That should be the other way around.
It's different TNA stuff from WWE. There's a couple storylines that WWE has stolen from TNA.
Yes.
The Eric Young.
Yeah. But the thing about it is, on the last note of this, because we tried filming 3 videos before this and all of them messed up on us, so we're going to sit there and we're going to sum it up like this. Without the mega jumps, WCW doesn't happen.
Nope.
Not the way we grew up.
Nope.
Without WCW going out of business, TNA doesn't thrive.
No, probably not, no.
And without TNA, all we're doing is watching WWE. And I think in a world like that, we wouldn't be as happy as we are.
It would be like Disney controlling the world.
So for
in time,
the Bunny Man, JDL, and our good friend Kyle Kramer, we thank you. Like the video, comment, enjoy Battleground tonight, and remember, without
for the Ambrose vs. Rollins,
without the jumps of Hogan, Savage, and Hall and Macho, the world we live in today would probably be a lot darker.
Rest in peace, Warrior.
Yeah. Rest in peace, Savage.
Rest in peace, Macho.
Take care, guys.